Well, we need to talk about this as well. A group of eco-conscious citizens is asking the Ghana Police Service to enforce the laws on noise making. Section 296 of the Criminal Offences Act 29 states that there should be no noise between 8 p.m. and 6 a.m. Now, it is up to the noisemakers to have their premises soundproofed so they don't inflict their noise on others. However, ever since its passage, the group argues that this piece of legislation is yet to be strictly enforced. As today marks the International Noise Awareness Day, the group is reminding the Ghana Police Service of the need to crack the whip. They've been making a number of demands. We'll look at that. Joining me in studio now is Awula Serwah, founder of the Eco-Conscious Citizens. Awula, it's a good time to be talking to you.
Thank you for inviting me.
Many of us did not know about this day, the International Noise Awareness Day. Right. Talk to us about the day and its essence.
Right. Every last Thursday of April, it's a yearly event which started since the late 1990s. There's a focus on noise pollution and looking at solutions to noise pollution. Other countries have their enforcement agencies working, but sadly, that's not really happening as it should be in Ghana. So we thought that was a good idea to mark the day. Right. And incidentally, we also have the Eco-Conscious Citizens Day of Action Against Noise Pollution,
okay.
Where we try to encourage the authorities, the municipal assemblies, the Environmental Protection Agency, and the police, who all have a mandate to deal with noise pollution. But a lot of the time, it's like a game of ping pong.
Right.
And what is important to note is that noise pollution is not just an inconvenience, it actually damages our health. And today we had a focus group meeting at Christ Apostolic Church at Accra Central. And we had an excellent doctor, Dr. Tremantin Amwa, who took time to come, and he spoke to us about the harmful effects of noise pollution, sustained noise. And he talked about the fact that it's not only our hearing, which is bad enough, because hearing is a very important sense we should have. But in addition to hearing loss, it can also cause diabetes, it can cause high blood pressure, it can lead to strokes and so many other things. So I was saying that then why don't the doctors ever focus on noise pollution? So at least for today, we had the very good doctor talk to us
explaining
about
all of that to you.
And it was in a church. And we know that when we talk about noise pollution, we have religious organizations, we have event centers, we have drinking spots, and we have these vehicles that are mounted with loudspeakers going up and down, selling a variety of goods for promotions. And of course, we have the baller taxis, depending on where you live, who play a very loud, irritating tune for out da 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 da. It could really give me a mental breakdown.
But very often when the conversation comes up, it's arguable, isn't it? And what's noise to you may not necessarily be noise to someone else. How do we find that fine balance, the standard, as to what noise should be?
Right. Okay, when we talk about noise, right now we are making noise talking. Okay. We're talking about a certain level. So the EPA, Environmental Protection Level, has set up decibel levels for day and night. But then the bylaws are very clear. When you are making noise, it shouldn't go beyond the confines of your premises. Right. So we are speaking now. Somebody shouldn't hear us down the road. Because if you're doing that, then you are inflicting your noise on somebody else. You're playing music. Play it for yourself. It's noise pollution where your neighbors are hearing you. Because it's tantamount to going to somebody's house and saying you must listen to this record. You can't do that. He may be writing a paper, he may be preparing for something. You can't force somebody to listen to your music. So to answer your question, noise is when it's going outside the confines of your property. And of course, we also need to know that the Criminal Offences Act, Act 29, is quite clear that there should be no noise at all between 8 p.m. and 6 a.m.
And I must confess that not many people, well, I can't speak for many, let me say, I'm not aware of this. I'm now discovering that after I engaged your group. So when you say 8 p.m. and 6 p.m., what it means is that you cannot play sound above a certain decibel, right?
If I said no noise at all, so we shouldn't hear you. So we shouldn't hear you.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, they shouldn't hear you. And you are supposed to, if you're making noise and the police were to come around, you are supposed to provide the evidence that shows that you are able to make noise. So what is very interesting is when the doctor came, he made it clear that the 8 to 6 were not plucked out of the air. He explained that the body needs time to rest. And it's during those hours. Of course, we know people work at day, people work at night, but you need a space of time when the body can put all the hormones and things back in place. And when you don't allow the body to have the time to rest, that's when things are pear-shaped. And that's when you can get all sorts of illnesses. So in fact, the pastor of the church, Christ Apostolic Church, where we had the meeting, actually said that when people come, they've got diabetes, high blood pressure. Sometimes people might think it's the devil. It's nothing to do with the devil. Maybe the excessive noise they've been exposed to is what is causing this. And when you go to a lot of places, you see the powerful loudspeakers. It's a health hazard. You shouldn't have them.
Awula, let's be frank on this conversation. The point is, if the police were to enforce this order, a lot of people would have been in jail by now, or perhaps...
Well, you know, when you're enforcing orders,
right?
It doesn't necessarily have to be jail.
Right.
You go once, you speak to the person, give them a caution.
Because the noise is almost everywhere in
Yeah, but
the
you see, that's
capital.
why I'm saying that it's a pandemic.
Right.
We're all talking about the coronavirus, but another pandemic is the noise. It is a pandemic. Lots of people have hearing problems. We hear about young people going. People have got at a very... in fact, we've heard of 2 people. One has had to have open heart surgery. Another person actually died because noise pollution can kill. So you're absolutely right that we tend to be noisy and take it for granted that, oh, we're noisy people. But actually, it's not just against the law, but it's actually damaging our health. And I think if more people knew that it was a damage to their health, they would stop. I mean, if you know it's damaging your child, are you going to allow that to happen? And if you notice, that's why, for example, the Walkmans and things, they were trying to make it that it couldn't go beyond a certain level, because they do know the effects excessive noise has on our health. So what we are saying is that more doctors need to speak up and speak out and let people know that you are damaging your health.
Interesting points you're making there, but one of the challenges, I assume, for the Ghana Police Service is cracking the whip on religious organizations and groupings. There is what you know in Christendom. I'm a Christian as well. Evangelism. You have people setting up their speakers along the roads and all of that, and they go about preaching and all of that. The concern is when you're cracking down on some of these people, you're cracking down as well on their religious freedom.
Actually, no.
So how do we balance that? How do we go about that?
Your religious freedom can never interfere with somebody else's. I'm a born-again Christian.
Okay.
The Bible says...
So it's not as though you're talking against...
Yes, so as a born-again Christian, we are told, go and make disciples of all men. Nowhere in the Bible does it say, stay where you are, scream and injure everybody's health. You want to evangelize. Maybe you can do what the Jehovah Witnesses do. You go and engage with people. You knock on their doors. You have a conversation with them. You get to know them. Just setting up and putting up a loudspeaker and damaging everybody's health is unscriptural. There's nowhere in the Bible that it asks you to do so. In any case, in biblical times, I don't know, I didn't have loudspeakers. Okay. When John the confirmed, and we had a doctor today saying that excessive noise injures and damages our health. So yes, your religious freedom ends where it's going to interfere with somebody else's freedom. The Constitution guarantees us peace and quiet in the comfort of our home. Your home is the only place where you are king. So why should somebody else's noise be interfering? Look at the cycle. In some areas, about 4:30 a.m., you might have the Muslim call for worship. Even in Saudi Arabia, they are asking people to and even use WhatsApp and other means to...
Of calling for prayers.
And in the UK, where people are, there are Muslims there. You never hear the call for worship. There's nowhere in the Quran where it says you must put a loudspeaker to the building and wake up non-Muslims and Muslims. Then you have the dawn preachers who come and make excessive noise. Whether they are charlatans, whether they're Christians, only God knows. Sometimes when I hear what they are saying, I'm not even sure they're Christians. But it's not for me to judge. Then you have the baller taxis. It's a relay. Then you have the baller taxi. Then you have vehicles selling all sorts of goods. Then when you think you can have some rest, the churches have started. Then the drinking bars. And then maybe somebody's having an event. In a community, you'd always have somebody being born, somebody being married, somebody being engaged, somebody dying. If everybody's going to make noise for social events, there'll be mayhem. And then you go back to the morning call for worship. So it's like a constant cycle of noise.
We found ourselves in noise, constant noise, if we should refer to it.
Because the law enforcing, I'm sorry to say it, are not those who have the mandate, the EPA, the local assemblies, and the police service, are not doing enough.
I was just about to come to that because it appears this is not the first time you're making that call to the Ghana Police Service to act on this.
Well, what is very interesting is that last year when we had the Day of Action Against Noise Pollution, lots of people have been writing, WhatsApping us about noise pollution. So we say use that day to make complaints at the police station. A lot of the police stations refuse to take the complaints. They would say, oh, go to the EPA, go to the municipal assemblies. So only those who are very assertive could say that actually I can come to you because it's a criminal offense and you have a mandate to investigate and deal with criminal offenses. We had the same experience. We went to our police, the nearest police station, which is La Badi police station. And until we were very assertive and got a senior officer, the person at the front desk didn't want to take the complaint. So you had to be assertive and say it is a criminal offense. So in fact, last year we met with the IGP, not the present one. And he said, look, during their training, they know that they are trained and it's brought to their attention that noise pollution is a criminal offense. Right. We do understand that when there's a robbery taking place, the robbery should have priority. Everybody understands that. But the police also need to have the understanding that it's a criminal offense. And when complaints are made, they don't have to say A made the complaint, B made the complaint, and open the person up to threats of violence by the noisemaker. But they can go there and say, sorry, your volume is too high, it's going outside your confines, or it's 8:30, there's supposed to be no noise at all, and please, turn off everything. If they need to, remove the loudspeakers and seize them. You don't have to prosecute him at this stage, but when the person is, what shall I say, recalcitrant, that's when you may need to take...
And as we wrap up on this conversation, obviously there's a need for collaboration. This shouldn't just be about law enforcement. Personal responsibility as well should come to play. Why someone watching us will be asking, why do I need to cut down on the noise, and why do I need to collaborate with the eco-conscious citizens in achieving what it is that
you need to cut down on the noise because you are damaging health. I mean, if you're a Christian, love your neighbor as yourself. If you want to damage your own health, that is your prerogative. But you have absolutely no right, and it doesn't show brotherly love to go and damage somebody else's health. Apart from damaging the person's health, you don't know what they're doing. They could be writing a very serious paper. They could be learning for an exam. They could have a headache. What rights do you have to inflict your noise on somebody else? So personal responsibility. You want to have a party? Yes, go ahead, have a party, but keep the noise down. You have a spinner, educate the spinner so that he keeps the sound levels low. And somebody in Timbuktu need not hear you when you are having your event.
We'll have to leave it there. Awula Serwah is the founder of the Eco-Conscious Citizens. We're grateful that you're joining us today on the World Noise Awareness Day. Many of you did not know about that, but we also need to bring to your attention other issues happening.